Welcome to Blade HQ, everybody. Today's a very special day because we're celebrating Father's Day with knives for all the different kinds of dads out there.
Yes, and we have 11 different categories we're going to talk through, each for a different type of dad. And let's jump right in.
All right, EDC Dad.
So we have the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. We have the full blackout version here.
But it comes in a million flavors.
Yes, and you know, this isn't the only EDC knife for a dad, right? But I think it's a really solid choice.
Yeah, and I think the reason it's been so popular for so long is because it's so good at darn near everything.
It really is. I mean, that's what Spyderco made it for. They're originally, right, for the military, but this is obviously the more EDC version of it.
Yeah, and I think it's a great pick here because this is a father-son duo that designed it.
Yeah.
So we have Eric Glesser, who's the son of Sal Glesser, who they too have run Spyderco.
Yep.
And this is based off of the design that Sal made for his son to go to the military in.
Exactly. It's a great pick. It has great materials, obviously super easy in and out of the pocket, and that back lock is phenomenal for easy open and close.
Yes, that compression lock, super nice.
Yes, excuse me.
Very safe to use, but it's on the back, and I guess the generic is the top liner lock.
It is.
Yes, but yeah, this one's awesome. This one's got the CPM S45VN version. If I were shopping for my dad, I might get him the Spy 27 version because it's got the fancy blue, and he's a big BYU fan.
I know, I do like that one. Very clean.
Yep, awesome knife for any dad out there.
Yes, and next up, for the DIY dad, I think we have the most DIY tool you could ever dream of, and that is the Leatherman Arc. This multi-tool has every tool you could ever think of. It truly is the super tool of multi-tools, and I can't imagine a better thing to gift a dad, someone who might be working in the garage, in the yard, on his car. Doesn't matter, this has a tool on there that will benefit him.
Yeah, another thing I'll mention is this one is famous for its Magna Cut blade with a thumb stud that is accessible at normal folder locations. So if your dad is somebody who doesn't want to carry a knife and a multi-tool, I mean, this is top tier knife steel available on your multi-tool, super easy to run.
Exactly, yeah. So great all around pick, especially for someone who does DIY.
Yep, and also comes with a little bit of extra bits in here, so if you, I don't know, need a square bit or a Torx or whatever, you got it already in the sheath with you.
Exactly.
So very nicely done, Leatherman. It's great.
It really is.
Get one for your DIY dad.
Take it from George himself. He has one every day.
Yep.
All right, this one I'm really excited for. So this is for the BBQ Dad, or I guess the Cooking Dad.
These are my favorite dads.
Yes, this is the Benchmade station knife. We'll see if that sits there. It does. This thing is insane.
Yeah, and this isn't your grandma's kitchen knife.
No.
This thing's edge is so thin and so sharp because of Benchmade Select Edge.
Yes.
So what we can tell you about that is it's a thinner edge angle, so 14 degrees per side, and then it's polished to a much higher polish than you're used to. And this thing glides.
Yes, it is so smooth. I own one myself, and it is absolutely phenomenal. It can cut through anything. You don't have to do any crazy pushing. It will just go right through. And this one is specifically cool. It is the limited edition with the new aluminum scales on the handle, which I think is so clean.
I don't think I've ever seen an aluminum handle on a kitchen knife before, but I'm here for it. It looks really good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it gives that premium feel, as Benchmade always does. But this has CPM 154 blade steel, which you don't see that much on a kitchen knife, but very high quality.
Really ought to see
very
it
durable.
more often.
I know, it's great. So a great option. This is also a great option for if your dad likes to go camping and cooking. It doesn't have to just be used in the kitchen or at the barbecue. You could take it on the go. It has this awesome sheath that it comes with, so you're going to protect your blade at all times.
Yeah, not too often you see a high-end kitchen knife with a sheath, though. They just assume you're going to use a magnet strip or something. But your dad, your barbecue dad, he goes camping. He wants to bring his knife with him, and nobody brings a magnet strip to the campsite.
Exactly.
Unless he does, in which case he's super cool.
Yes. But speaking of camping, we're going to now go into the Camping Dad knife. And we have the SE3, which we've talked about so many times because of how amazing it is.
It's just so good.
It is. It's one of the best all-around fixed blades you can buy right now. It has a phenomenal ergonomics in the handle, S35VN blade steel. This thing is a beast in a small package.
Yeah, and what I really appreciate is how thin they went on the blade. So a nice thin blade is going to be able to slice really easily, but it's S35VN, so it's plenty tough to handle some woodwork and whatnot, but it's not going to be crazy heavy. And if you do break it, which you probably won't, but if you do, SE's warranty covers you 100%.
It does.
Snap it in a vise and send it to them, and they'll send you a new one free. It's really quite incredible.
It is. They're awesome for that. And it comes with this awesome Kydex sheath, which I love, I also own this knife. Again, my favorite fixed blade for you, those of you that don't know. Keeps it in there nice and sturdy. That thing is not going anywhere. Very minimal rattle, if any, and a great way to keep your knife safe.
Yep, and it comes out of the box with a belt clip, so if you want to carry it that way, or these hole patterns, like here, are compatible with tech locks or soft loops, or however you want to carry a fixed blade. It is very easy to outfit here on the SE3.
Yes, nice and versatile. And then next up for our fishing dad, we actually have a newer knife, which is the Benchmade Adira in the new black and blue colorway.
Yeah, so the Adira is the Benchmade's folder for the water, I guess, from their water line.
Yeah, it's like their foldable water beast, if you will. This thing is so big and bulky, it's awesome.
Yep, got a MagnaCut blade, and like you said, it's big and bulky. It feels like a real beast in the hand, but it is really surprisingly light. You pick it up like, oh, that's a lot less knife than I thought I was going to be holding.
Yeah.
But it's still plenty tough thanks to that axis lock and a MagnaCut blade. Also the blue and the gray is a super cool combo.
Yeah, oh, I agree. And like you said, big and beefy, but great for having gloves on. If you're fishing, maybe you're even on a boat and you wear your gloves, you're doing some work, you can still actuate and use this knife with your gloves on. And it is still good for the fine tasks because it has a very nice taper on that blade, a nice slicey edge. So if you need to cut line or anything smaller, it will still get those tasks done as well.
Yes, excellent, excellent knife all the way around. If you're not a big fan of big knives, by the way, check out the mini Adira because it offers a lot of the same benefits, just in a bit more small, compact package.
Yeah, another good one. And then next up, we have a hunting knife for the hunting dad.
The hunting dad, and this is the Buck 110 Auto.
Yes.
Although this one's standing in for the entire Buck 110 series, which is large and expansive.
Oh yes, absolutely. And as you guys know with Buck, super traditional, very much gives the vibe of, I'm gonna gift my grandfather, my son, my dad this knife, keep it as the heritage in the family. And so I feel like it just fits the overall theme of Father's Day.
This one's a classic. It's been around. It's been like one of the kings of EDC knives for over half a century now.
Yeah.
And also another father-son duo in the Buck family.
Yeah, absolutely. And hunting specifically, this thing has a Boss heat treat on the blade, has that nice bowie look to it, and it's gonna get a super slicey blade on that thing.
Yeah, so that Boss heat treat is, for those who don't know, Paul Boss over at Buck made the best heat treatment in the world. There are people who heat treat as well, but no one does it better. And this has a very thin edge thanks to a hollow grind, and that's why hunters love it, because it holds an edge darn near forever thanks to that heat treat. And the edge is so thin it just glides through. If you're quartering meat, if you're deboning, if you're skinning, whatever, the knife just does it beautifully.
It does, and to go along with the strength of the blade, we have that very strong lock back like you see on all the Buck 110s. And this thing makes sure that that knife is not going to close on you or go anywhere while you're using it. You can put it through those rough tasks and feel confident.
Yep. Made in the USA and backed by an awesome warranty as well. So if your dad's into hunting, check out the Buck 110 or the 112, which is the mini 110. I interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to tell you that right now during the Father's Day sale, you can get a free SOG power pint with every order 165 or greater at bladehq.com. This is an awesome little multi-tool. It's got compound leverage in the pliers for extra pinching force and a ton of useful tools that all lock with this fancy lock back. You should pick one up for your dad if you're getting him a knife, or just keep it for yourself. I won't tell. Now back to the video.
And then next up, we have the Tactical Dad, which we have Microtech ZBP.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably gonna get hate in the comments for saying this, but when I think of tactical knives, Microtech's the king.
Oh yeah.
Like, they make such good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, when Tony was first making the Ultratechs, that was his vision, was to make the best tactical OTF on the market, and he clearly has.
Yeah, and this isn't just any Ultratech. This isn't your dad's Ultratech yet. Father's Day's coming, you should get him one. This is the ZBP, so zero blade play. So normally with OTFs, they have a little bit of blade movement, but somehow a couple of master knife makers out there, Tony Marfione being one of them over at Microtech, have made it, this thing feels like a fixed blade in the hand.
Yeah, it doesn't move.
No movement at all, but still a buttery smooth double action, aluminum handle, and this fun like ball titanium pocket clip.
Yeah, that thing's sweet. The ergonomics are great. And one thing with the new slide, you don't have to be afraid of using it for anyone. Any level of use for a knife, maybe you're not as comfortable with an OTF, he has made sure that this thing is easy to open and close for anyone that touches the knife.
Yes, it's very, very nice. I would say it might be the king of OTFs right now.
Yes, we can agree on that.
It's super awesome. And it comes in a bunch of colors, a couple of different blade shapes too. I think the Ultratech might be the knife in the most variations of any knife.
Oh, there's so many. Yeah, absolutely. It gives you lots of options.
Yep. Then next up,
this will be for the desk dad.
which, let's be honest, most of our dads, whether we admit it or not, are desk dads.
Yes, just like us here at Blade HQ.
Yep. I spend most of my day writing at a desk.
Yes, but this is the Vosti Parallel, a super slim knife, easy to throw in your pocket, or just keep at your desk because it looks pretty sleek.
Yeah, look how incredibly thin that knife is.
Yes.
But somehow they've contoured the handle scales and it like fills out the hand pretty well. Like
Feels great.
you're not afraid to use it, but it's super thin and super light.
Yeah, we've talked about Vosti a lot as kind of that brand that's kind of been on the rise as of recent. And this is one of their standout models. I think even though it's super light and thin, they make it out of great materials, so you're gonna still feel like you have a nice premium knife in your hand.
Yeah, and I love the blue accents on this.
Super clean.
Yeah, that's like a punchy in the face blue, but on
Yeah.
a nice muted black. So
I know.
maybe you wear a uniform that has blue on it, or just like to
Match
throw
it to
something
your
in your
outfit.
jeans. Yeah, I mean, desk dad, right? Business
Exactly.
casual.
Heck yeah.
Got to dress it up, right?
Oh yeah, another great one to add to your dad's rotation or to introduce him to knives. And next we have a pretty bougie option
For the
now.
bougie dad.
This is for the collector dad, which makes sense because it is a Chris Reeve Sebenza.
Yeah, if my son got me a Sebenza for Father's Day,
Would you cry?
I probably would. My oldest son is 5. If he handed me a Sebenza,
That's
I
true.
probably would cry because I know it was ultimately me paying for it.
Yes, that's fair.
But these are not cheap customers. I want to say these ones start around the 500 mark.
Yeah.
But they are no holds barred, some of the highest quality knives ever made by humans.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And if you guys are Chris Reeve fans, you know that these do not stay on the shelves. So if you are eyeballing one, now's the time to get it for your dad or grandfather, whoever you might be gifting for Father's Day. Again, super premium materials. It has the nice slow open that Chris Reeve loves. Gives it a very premium gentleman's feel in your pocket.
Yep. Magna Cut blade steel, bead blasted titanium, and this Sebenza 31 happens to have these natural micarta inlays.
Yes.
Gives a little bit more meat in the hand and a bit more of a soft texture.
Yeah, I love when he does the inlays. It looks so good.
Yep. Comes with a lanyard, but you can just remove that if you don't want, or replace it with something else. And it's just such a good knife.
It is. To most, it's a grail knife, so hence the collector dad. If maybe your dad has a bunch of other knives that he loves, this might be the next one in his collection that he's been wanting.
Yes. I don't know a man in this entire world who, when handed a Sebenza, doesn't be like, dang,
You're like,
it's a nice knife.
Yeah, exactly. The knife speaks for itself.
Yeah. Man, maybe I do need a Sebenza. The day will
on your
come
wish
someday.
list. And then next up we have, for our new dads, we have the Benchmade Bailout.
All right, so tell me the thought process here.
So new dads, I'm thinking something easy to use. And again, I didn't pick this list, but I'm on board with it. So a crossbar lock, or in Benchmade's case, the Axis lock, super easy to use. Thumb stud, open it nice and quick. You don't have to put your finger in the way of the blade path at all. It has great lightweight materials. It's almost the same as like an EDC, like a Bug Out or an Osborne, you know, one of the other Benchmade alternatives. But I don't know, I think it's a great starting route.
I think so too. And I will tell you, most of my dad-related knife stuff, I mean, I have 4 little boys, is like toy adjacent.
Yeah.
And so like when my kids have this one little dinosaur toy that has like these coins that sit together, when you feed the dinosaur, it tells you what it ate. And they get stuck together, the coins do. And
Gotta wrench them apart.
like no power of God or man will get them apart. But if you get a knife in there and twist, and that's what I like about this. Like this is super thin and light, less than 2 ounces, slips into a pocket and you'll forget it's there. But this is a 3V blade. 3V is a steel that you normally see on like giant survival knives, beat the tar out of them.
Yeah.
You throw this thing on a knife of this size and beat the tar out of it. It's not gonna chip, it's not gonna break.
Exactly.
And whether that be you're assembling a crib or building a playground or separating dinosaur cookies.
Exactly.
The new dad life's a weird one. And if you're in it, welcome to the club. Pick yourself up a bailout.
Exactly. And pair this with Benchmade's Life Sharp warranty. If you do ever need to sharpen that blade, they'll do it for you, and they do a great job.
And lastly, for our traditional dad, we have perhaps the most traditional of the knives, Mr. Case Trapper. I'm going to set it here because there's 2 blades. I don't know how to make it look nice.
And you know what? Nothing gets more traditional than a slip joint.
Yeah, like if you go and pocket check your average grandpa or great grandpa, this is probably very close to the knife they have in it, if not the knife. This is one of the best-selling pocket knives of all time.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe if your dad isn't into the more modern, crazy knives with all the different mechanisms, that's totally okay. That's why there are still plenty of options like this out there. There are brands like Case that consistently make traditional slip joints so that people who love that vibe can still have it to this day.
Yeah, and I know that sometimes we talk about this modern high-speed, low drag, whatever,
Yeah.
but we forget that there's a lot of really good things about this knife.
Absolutely.
So we have 2 blades, one with the clip point blade, so more of your everyday cutting stuff, and then you also have a spay blade, which I'll let your mind run wild as to what it was made for originally. But this nice curve is also good for skinning stuff, for slicing stuff, and it's got a nice deep hollow grind. And also, you can keep this hair splitting sharp, and that way, if you need to go and cut up a hay bale or whatever, you can dull this edge all you want, but then when it comes time to slice your steak at dinner, you got a nice razor edge.
Yeah, exactly. That does help with having 2 blades on there. And I can't think of a time when like my grandpa didn't pull a slip joint out of his pocket to do something. If we're like, who has a knife? And there it is, like probably a Boker or a Case slip joint. So it just speaks for itself in terms of the heritage behind it.
So this is just a sampling of amazing knives that your dad might be into at bladehq.com. This is a great place to start, but if it doesn't quite fit, I'm sure there's something.
Yeah, and we know that these categories we ran through are not going to be every dad. I'm sure we missed something. So like George said, go to Blade HQ, check out all the different variations of knives that are out there, and get your dad something awesome for Father's Day.
Yes, and I can't think of something that more embodies the spirit of what a father should be than a good pocket knife.
Yeah.
Or a kitchen knife or whatever. Something that says, I get stuff done. I'm available, and I mean, everybody has this view of their dad, like he's tough, but he's there for me.
Yeah.
I love him so much, and that is sort of what we ask of our knives too.
Yeah, absolutely. Get him something that he can put in his pocket, and it can be kind of the ally to everything that he does on the daily. But thank you again for watching. We will see you on the next one. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more from Blade HQ, and we'll see you next time.
And happy Father's Day.